Hello, hello. All right. It's working. Right? Clock is ticking. A little bit early. Everything perfect. Right? Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I I'm now chatting for the first hour. Okay? Napping doesn't start till the second hour, and I only nap for 45 minutes. Okay? So if you're here for the napping, tune in 1 hour from now. Tom Brown, howdy. So that's the format now. The first hour is chat. I just look at the comments. The second hour, the first 45 minutes of the second hour is Flintnapping. And then the last 15 minutes, I try to catch up with the chat and the comments and all that. Okay? So that's how it's going to go. Mike Tufts is here. Hey, happy 4th of July. Today is the 4th of July. Yes, it is. All right, I'm almost ready. I need to put my apron on. Yeah, it won't be complete unless I got my apron, my napping apron. It's also good for when I barbecue. Yeah, see? I can put stuff in there. All right. Let's see. Jim Main is here. Hey, Richard is here. Styly Designs. Her name is Larry, right? Let me try to get the first names. Happy 4th. Happy 4th. I was going to upload a video. Actually, I can make it. I can do it. I just won't name it. I'll just post it, and then I'll figure it out later. Okay? Let's see. Let me go to YouTube Studio and make this other video. I just shot a video, an unboxing just before this. Jesse's here. Happy 4th, Patrick. The community page is awesome. I don't mind the one complaint. Yeah, I don't mind them either. Good. Yes, the name Larry. Styly Designs is Larry. Mike, I got one like that for the lathe, but it comes up to the chest. Okay. Oh, I see. Yeah, a full apron. Yeah. I was thinking of doing that because the napping, I mean, not the napping, the welding aprons are not too expensive. SC, happy 4th. Happy 4th. Yes. We don't have fireworks here, but even if we did, they probably wouldn't start until 9:45 or so. Mac Bales is here. Howdy. Martin Hill is here. Alan Cole, I'm late. WTF. Yeah, look at all the people that are here before you, Alan. Usually you're first one. Bill Taylor, evening. Okay, I let me upload, or let me make public this video that I uploaded just before the live stream. It's an unboxing. Okay, so let's see. Let me push the right buttons. I can't talk and push buttons correctly at the same time. I can try. Sometimes I get lucky and push the right button just by luck. I'm not going to number this one or anything. I'm just going to say unboxing. And then make it go public. It's now private. Make it go public. And what else am I going to do here? I can add the description because I already got that in my clipboard. Yeah, there it is. Yep. Okay, so save. Who else is here? Bushy's here. Frodo Joe is Bushy or Harold. Dwayne Griffin. Hey, Patrick, how are you doing? I'm doing okay. Yeah. Smash that like button, you guys. Yeah. Jesse says, do it. Yeah, happy 4th of July. I redecorated my front porch because I have lights out there. A string of Christmas lights instead of my regular porch light. Because, I don't know, I just like having those lights out there. They're not Christmas lights. I switch out the bulbs. Well, I switched out the bulbs to red, white, and blue today, or for the whole weekend. So hope that counts as being festive. Yeah. Mike says earlier Jesse and I was up to getting some Osage orange. Well, that's awesome. Yeah. Osage orange can be used for all kinds of stuff. Blanco, hey, Eric. Blanco E25. His name's Eric. How's it going, Eric? Patrick, you're not supposed to upload a video during your live stream. What do I watch? Both. Don't you have split screens or two monitors? Are you if you're going to spend your life on the internet, yeah, have to do a split screen. Dwayne Griffin says, keep an eye on your mailbox. Alrighty. David, hello from UK. Hey, David, good to see you. Red-Eyed Patriot. Patrick, you must create an angry sandwich picture. Okay, I'll create an angry sandwich picture. Okay, so what I'm doing is I was experimenting with memes, right? And I was just posting and stuff. So, but some people, I post too much. They're saying I post too much. Some people say I'm not posting enough. Like right there, I need an angry sandwich picture or something. So what I'm going to do is I think YouTube allows me to post several memes in one upload, right? So that you can scroll and look at all the memes in just one upload. So that's what I think I'll do. Instead of uploading each post separately, these little photos. And I plan on also uploading text, like 12 rules. Remember those 12 rules of napping? I can upload those too, but I think I can put them in picture format so that it'll be tucked away within the group of posts or group of things within the post. That way I'm not spamming, bunches and bunches of posts. Okay. Hey, Jay Valente's here. How's it going, Jay? Yeah. So I will create a angry sandwich picture, or I'll create someone that needs a sandwich. Okay. What are you doing? I'm eating my crybaby sandwich. What's in it? I don't know, but it's got lots of mayonnaise. All right, so let's see. Alan says, Patrick, what do you think about the material Sal napped from the ancient Pueblo Rock Shelter site? I didn't watch it. Yeah, I'm guilty of not watching any videos this week. I've been doing nothing but messing with my stuff. I got lots of phones now, right? I got a total of 3 phones, and they want to sell me another one. I said, no, that's enough. I'm going to return. See, I still have my old phone. It's videoing this live stream. Until I can figure out how to switch that phone to my new one, as far as the connectivity, then I'll turn it in, and then I'll be back to 2 phones. But I went down to Verizon, and they want to sell me another one for like 90% off. You want another one? Just another added line, cost. That's it. I said, I don't know. 3 phones? What am I going to do with 3 phones? Let's see. Jesse says, now I don't have to be stone ignorant. I got Jay's book. Haha. Awesome. Red-Eyed Patriot, or Michael says, everyone, happy Independence Day. Yes. I should have had my flag set up back there. Oops. Right? I'm just winging it as usual. Yeah, so I'm just going to chat for the first hour, like I was saying earlier. And if you want to see napping, come back for the second hour. I live stream for 2 hours each time. I'll be napping in the second hour from now on for about 45 minutes. And what am I going to be napping? I'm still in this road rock patch. I got a bucket of road rock I got from Texas. It's Edwards Plateau Chert. It looks like it's pretty much the same stuff because it's all from the same area, but it does vary in consistency and color. and some of it's really broken up and freeze cracked, but some of it's okay. And some of it is high grade. Yeah. You never know. Like, this might not be as high grade as this, although they look almost identical. Yeah. So it's Texas Road Rock, not heat treated, although it probably gets a lot better as far as glossiness with heat, but it might not nap better. It might actually snap in half easier. So it's a mixed bag when you heat treat. You never know what you're going to get. Killer Cork, hello, hello. Let's see. Alan says, I got to get ready for tonight's festivities. I'll be back in a little bit. Unfortunately, I'll be driving to Battleground, Washington during the day stream. During the day stream. To my apologies for lack of comments tonight. Yeah, no worries. Hello, Patrick and everybody. Happy 4th. Yes. Mike Tuff says, in today's times, having 3 phones, I don't think anybody would think anything, but back in the late 80s and early 90s, if you had 3 pagers, you were definitely a drug dealer. Yeah. All righty. What else? What did I miss? Bren says, howdy, happy America Day. Yes. Actually, I heard some gunshots last night from down the street. Somebody. And plenty of firecrackers today. And although they're very strict on fireworks here in Vermont, so we don't have a 4th of July fireworks display here in my town. I can go across the border into New Hampshire and see one, or I can drive 15 minutes to another town here in Vermont. But they don't have one here, a fireworks display, until August or something for some kind of special town day or something like that. Bill Taylor says, I made a few pieces that are red, white, and blue today. It's 1 year since I made my first identifiable point. Well, cool. Ralph Snyder, hello. Mike Mason, hello. Happy 4th. Yes. Patrick, you pushing smack now? No, I just talk smack. I don't push smack. I know you're kidding, yes. But yeah, I've got to figure out a format for talking smack. Yeah. I think I'm going to do it through the memes. Brent says, not very strict on guns or fireworks here, especially on this day. Yeah, when I was in Texas, it was the same way. Not very strict, especially when I lived in South Texas. Everybody was shooting guns down there. Yeah. Let's see. All the boys are in the house. Yes. We got the crew in the house. DAK. Yeah. It's stricter here in Vermont for some reason as far as fireworks go. You can't buy any good stuff. If you buy any good stuff, you got to stay in New Hampshire across the border. Hey, Sal's in the house. Hello. Bushy says, I'm one of the few people that don't like fireworks, and I married a wife that goes nuts over fireworks. Oh, dang. Anthony is here. Happy Independence Day. Yes. Thank you. Jesse says, please do an overshot meme. Okay. Ask and you shall receive the memes. Yes. So what can I do on an overshot meme? You guys can post memes too. I opened up the community for you guys to post stuff. So if you want to post memes or you want to suggest something, you can write it as a post and then hit the post button, right? It says what's on your mind or whatever, and you just type whatever in and hit enter. Yeah. Pat. Overshot meme. Make it talk smack. Yeah. Sal is napping that Goosebump obsidian. Oh, okay. I did see that. Just the introduction to the Goosebump obsidian. I didn't watch the whole thing. Yeah. Jay says, I'll have to check out the community section. I just opened mine as well. Awesome. Yeah, you can post stuff. It allows you to post pictures, and you can even generate AI stuff if you want and create your own little memes and that kind of thing. Sal says, hello, everybody. Won't be able to stay long. My son is 10, and I have to take him to watch my money burn up. Yeah, luckily, like let's say in Texas, it's an hour earlier than here, so it's still daylight pretty much for you guys, right? You don't have to worry about it. Well, here the fireworks don't start. Well, I guess everywhere they don't start till it gets dark, and it won't be dark here for a while, and it's even it occurs even later for you guys. But yeah, glad to see you here. Jesse says, yeah, everyone was asking how to post points or funnies, and Pat made it happen. Yeah, thanks for YouTube. Thanks to YouTube for allowing that, right? Michael or Red Eye Patriot was trying to get me to post or to open that up for posts and stuff a while ago. And I said, I don't know. I'll probably spend weeks doing it. Yeah. I've spent already a week looking into that, plus software to make images and trying to figure out how to connect my phones together and connect them to the computer so that I can start filming the videos off of my brand new shiny phone instead of my old one that's all cruddy. Anyway, Ralph says, I just picked up some chert from the landscape beds at the hospital. My wife picked up a nice glossy gray nodule. She has a good eye. Well, there you go. That's awesome. Just don't let anyone catch you doing that, because they get a little irate. How do I know? I don't know. Let's see. Alan says, correction, the obsidian gave Sal goosebumps. It's awesome that he enjoys it. Okay, so I saw Sal working obsidian that had bubbles in it. I assumed that was why you called it goosebump obsidian. Anyway, Jay says, hospital chert at R. Snyder. Sanitize that before napping it. Yeah. It's named now Goosebump. You can't go back. Yeah, see, there you go. Can't go back. It's got to be Goosebump Obsidian now. Michael says, it's an extension of reach to new people. Glad you did it. I mostly share other channels and pictures and stuff. I see. Oh, yeah, I can put links to other channels and post, I guess, little clips, right? Let's see. Sal says, Mike T, I guess I bought the fireworks. Yep, it's my fault. Yeah. I just sent my daughter extra money. Her birthday is in a week or so. No. Her birthday is very close to the 4th of July. So I sent her birthday money plus a little bit extra for fireworks. She does like fireworks quite a bit. I mean, I do too. Yeah. Let's see here. Jesse says, it would be much easier than trying to check 300 emails. Hey, Pat, look at what I can do. Like Stuart from Mad TV. Ah, that's true, right? It might cut down on the emails to have you guys post up on YouTube. Unless you're a little shy and you don't want people to see. Let's see here. Yeah, Sal, you're the best dad, says Mike. Yep. Mike Tufts. I found out later in life that when we would go on trips, my dad would purposely go around the fireworks stores. You mean bypass them or go and look, like do bar hopping, except you do fireworks stand hopping? Which one was it? Brent says, I'm still too private, I guess. I just finally showed off 2 of my points to Patrick in an email, and it took me this long. Yeah. They were good, though. I don't see nothing wrong with them. Showed me 2 points, clean napping, very symmetrical. Everything is good. Sal says, my next video, I might be missing some fingers. Either that or severe burns and stuff, right? Where did you get the burns? Never mind. Michael says, clips cut from a vid or just share the whole video or short. It helps others you feel deserves more eyes on it. Okay. So, all right. So I can post links and videos. All right. Mike says, Ralph, I have some of the cobbled shirt. Mine is a little bit grayish in the middle and has a speckles of color. It's kind of grainy, but I'm not sure about heat treating it. Just try it. Slab. Who's napping slabs? Not supposed to nap slabs. That's for the fog guys. Do we have any fog guys watching? Flake over grind? I know some of us will nap a slab occasionally, but I don't know if any flake over grind guys watch the channel regularly. I got a friend that is nothing but flake over grind. I don't think he watches my channel very much. Ed Gould is here. Battery's going. I'm off air. Going to watch it on TV. Okay, we'll see you there, Ed. Jesse says, Brent, don't be scared, bro. No one on here would ever criticize you. We are always our own worst critics. I was nervous to post too, and now I have a small channel. Go figure. There you go. Once you break the ice and post stuff, it's no big deal. Yeah. Sal says, I won some slabs at Brady. I sent one to Michael. Oh, there you go. Sal sent me a package of sweet flakes and preforms. He included an Edward slab. There you go. Hello, Gary Reed on TV. What is that? Bren says, yeah, I waited a little longer than necessary to post stuff on in email. Let's see. In a weird way, I feel like glass is similar to fog, says Mike. Yeah, it can be. Jim Collins is here. I'm getting ready to try it. The flake over grind. Try it and do it. Mike Tufts. Brennan, there will be no criticizing here. Post them. Bill Taylor says, I nap slabs, but I don't grind them into preforms. Yeah. You're halfway there. Yeah. You got to graduate to pre-ground preforms that are all convex and all that, with just the right thickness on the edges, instead of having the big old, square edge. Let's see. Ralph says, Alan tried sending Sal my address. Patrick has my permission to give my address to Sal. Okay. Let's see. Maybe I should take a moment and send your address to Sal. Do I have Sal's email? Let me just look. Salvador, do I have your email? Yes, I do. Got it. All right, so I have his email. Now, let's see here. Oh, I'm missing a lot of chat. Okay, let's see. I want to make sure I got the right person sending it to the right person. So, Ralph Snyder's address is going to Sal. Okay. Let me see. Pardon me. Let's see if I got it. No? There. I got a lot of emails from you, Ralph. Dang it. I gotta look through all of them to get your address. Okay, I got it. No worries. No worries. Hold on a second. If I don't do this, it won't get done. Okay? All right, so hold on here. Okay. I don't like it when it thinks I want to copy a link or something. Why does it do that? I'm not trying to copy a link. There. Now, let's go to Salvador. Oh no. I gotta compose. I can't look. I gotta compose. All right. Sorry, guys. If I don't do this right now, I will forget. Let's see here. Double check. Ralph Snyder. Okay, just gonna make sure. You would think it's easy to cut and paste, but I had to cut a whole bunch of stuff and copy it so that it wouldn't include this link thing. Yeah. There. Right? Yes? Okay. And your address looks like a zip code, Ralph. So there's that too. Let's see here. Yeah, and your town is the name of a state. Okay. Ready? I think we're ready. Yeah. All right. So what did I miss? I missed a bunch. Let's see. Red Eye. That was a sick care package. You sent somebody a care package, Mike. Let's see. Brent says, I may post a point soon. I'm proud of my work at this point. Yeah, there you go. Just post it. Post it. Just do it. Hey, Jim Cooper's here. What's up, guys? Preforms I do have, says Bill Taylor. Jesse says, Alan showed me a pic of one of his first biface successes with a Power Tufts bopper. He did good. Awesome. Sal says, I'm too lazy to learn fog. Too much work involved. Yeah, there's a lot of very persnickety stuff going on with the flake over grind. Yeah, that's why I don't do it. Bren says, I'm still a little ways off from vids. I might post though. Patrick approved, so I think I finally realized they're good. Yeah, there you go. Let's see. Ralph says, Mike, I'd heat treat it if you got a way to do it. Might help. Okay. Mike says, Alan must have a good one of the good boppers because my bopper made the tip overshoot. Whether Patrick realized it or not, sending me a comment, excellent, was exactly what I likely needed. Yeah. All right. I mean, you earned it. You've been lapping long enough to produce some good points. Michael says, Brennan, start with shorts or finished points with music playing with them. That's what I did. There you go. Oh yeah, and if you want to attract attention, do the flake flick. Yeah, you know what a flake flick is. You take a flake off and then you put it back on and you flick it off. Yeah. Instead of just hammering it off and let it fall. No, you pick it up, put it back on there and flick it off. What is a flake flick? Don't worry about it. I'll show you. I'll show you in the second hour when I nap. Okay. Yeah. There's not too many new guys. There's only 25 people, so I get like 7% new people. So there's like maybe one new guy here. If you're new and if you want people to know where you're at, tell us where you're at. What state? And then you may be living real close to another napper, and you can exchange ideas or materials. You can go to a nap-in, maybe exchange information, find out where all the events are going on. Sometimes there's just little private nap-ins that they don't advertise. Yeah. You don't have to go to a nap-in, but that's the best place to find free rocks. Jay says, I'm not sure who watches my channel, but I apologize for the awful mothership fishing joke. I didn't see that. Don't need to apologize to me. I didn't even see it. Let's see. All right, let me go to the end of the chat here. Wait a second here. All right. I'm missing a bunch of stuff. Jesse says the bluegill blow dart napped point fishing. I missed that one. Ralph says, thanks, Patrick. You're welcome. Ralph says, Jay, you go fishing in some beautiful places. Yes, he does. Julie Etheridge. Let's see. Patrick, knock it off with the AI memes. Don't need that garbage clogging my news feed. Oh, dang. Well, I'm going to condense them, so you'll get trash compacted posts. Okay, I'll trash compact them. Jim Cooper says, I kind of got inspired by all the talk of beginner materials and decided to play with some. Made a Thunderchirt knife blade and some clear glass ones to show that even though they are common materials, you can still make some cool stuff with them. There you go. Ralph says, I'll be trying some napping of these rocks over the weekend. Might even film it. There you go. Let's see. Beginner materials. You can nap a porcelain, yeah, as a beginner material. But I suggest trying to get flakes and napping stuff that's good, especially flakes. Or you just nap bottle bottoms. And, you can reduce the monotony by getting different colors of bottles. That's what I would do. If I had to do it over again, and it gives you a good background in cleaning up the mess, because you have to be very, very careful with glass. And after you learn to deal with glass, dealing with chert and flint is a piece of cake. Now, Julie Etheridge, let's see, are you related to Dave? Let's see, materials. You can still make some cool stuff with them. Oh, yeah. Ralph says rock puppets are great. Yeah. Instead of flicking, I do the rock puppet thing. John Turner, happy 4th. Hey. Jim Main says, I agree. I like the rock puppets. There you go. I did some rock memes also. Let's see here. I'll do more of those little rock memes where the hammerstones are the females if you didn't get the jokes, right? And rocks don't really want to be arrowheads. But the funny thing is if it's a nice looking enough hammerstone, hey, changes the ball game. Yeah. Let's see. Michael says, I'm working on root beer point right now. Kind of Kirk and corner notch style. All right. Bill says, Jim, I'm going to get some black butter if you need a little bit. get a hold of me and I'll look at it. I'll hook you up. There you go. See? That's how it works. Let's see. Mushroom rhyolite? What is mushroom rhyolite, Jay? Noah says, hey, Patrick, what is the material you use to hit the copper rod made from? I'm sure you have said it many times, but please, one more for me. I don't know. I'm getting a little tired of this. Yeah, I don't know if I should. It only takes a second. This is ultra high molecular weight plastic. I get it from eBay, but I get it in like 24-inch or 36-inch sections and cut them down. It's not that expensive. If you need a link, I should see. I'm trying to figure out how to transfer my clipboards from my phone to my computer. I still can't figure it out. I'm probably gonna have to cut and paste, my clipboard from my usual phone, because I have all this information. Like, where do I get these? On my clipboard and on my notes, my keep notes. But sometimes the keep notes don't match up with my clipboard, so I've got to redo my keep notes, and then I got to post over to somewhere else, like my other phone's clipboard, and then I can, and my computer's clipboard, and hopefully when I get that straightened out, when someone asks me where to find it, I can, on the computer, cut and paste a link into the chat. But right now I can't do that, so you'll have to remind me. After the live stream is over, you go into the comment section and say, Pat, can you give me a link to where you get this stuff from eBay? Because it's expensive everywhere else I've looked. All right. I can show you a link that's not going to be expensive. But you got to remind me in the comment section. I'll figure out how to do all this stuff as far as being able to post from a clipboard to this chat from my computer soon, hopefully. So this is ultra high molecular weight plastic, 1 1/4 inch diameter, black. And it's abbreviated UHMW, ultra high molecular weight plastic. And this has lasted for years. In fact, this is probably 12 years old. Yeah, this particular piece. I remember getting this way back in the day. I've since gotten rid of the other sections that I've cut from it. And it's still going strong, even after 12 years of intense abuse. Let's see here. Yeah, feel free to talk to each other in the chat. Don't wait for me, or don't mind me. I might be like nosy and post what you guys talk to each other about. But I'm looking mainly for questions. In case you're new, I'm looking mainly for questions in the comment section. Although sometimes I can't answer them very well because I don't have the link to this immediately available to post in the chat. But hopefully I'll fix that. Yeah. I can't remember the price on the ultra high molecular weight plastic. I can't remember. I think it's like $10 a foot. Something like that. I think. I can't remember. Let me see here. But you can get the white. If you can get ultra high molecular weight plastic in white, cheaper, then get it. It works the same. I got the black because I think it was on sale, or they had odd lengths of it, cheaper than some other stuff. I got it at a pretty good price when I got it, so I ended up buying like 4 feet of it, and I've since got rid of all of it except for this one piece. Let me see. Hey, Jay's link for anyone not subscribed. There's this channel, Jay Valente. If you want to know where to find rocks or how to find rocks or the strategy behind finding rocks, he's got bunches of videos on that. And even here in Vermont, he knows where the rocks are here in Vermont, which is a pretty much a desert when it comes to finding good rocks. He even knows where to find them out here. Yeah. Let's see. Jim says, Jay, I have collected it some solidified enough to do crude work with much. What are we talking about? Oh, okay. Mushroom something or other. Right? I forget the name of it already. Let's see. Okay, let me go to the end of the chat here. Noah Merritt is here. I found a 1 foot by 2 inch white for $17 on Amazon. I'm just browsing, but that was the first thing that came up. Yeah, if that's the cheapest, get that, because it doesn't matter what color it is, as long as it's UHMW plastic. Make sure it's not Delrin. Not Delrin. It has to be ultra high molecular weight plastic, and it can be food grade or industrial grade. There's different grades of this plastic. Most of it is food grade because it's used in processing food, as rollers and bearings and stuff, mainly for processing food and edible consumables with in the machinery that deals with that kind of thing, because it's easy to clean and it doesn't wear out and all that good stuff. And I think they make cutting boards out of this stuff too. Yeah, I think they make cutting boards out of it because it's non, or it resists bacteria and all that kind of stuff, and mold. It doesn't get moldy at all. Let me see. Okay, I'm talking about price of black butter obsidian. Okay, that's what it was. Jay says, I have a question for Pat. I bought one of those indirect copper rods, rounded tip, and I can't get it to flake stone. It just slides right off, not sharpened to a point. How do you get it to work? I hit hard. Yeah. If you have to sharpen it to a point to get it to work, then just do that. When I round my tips off, not that one. That's my brand new one. When I round the tips, I always just do a semicircle because it's the least maintenance type of point. Okay? And I have to hit hard to get the flake to come off. Most people don't understand how hard I hit. And if they do, they don't do it themselves because as soon as they start hitting that hard, they break everything. I work just slightly on the side of non-breakage when I'm making a point. I'm almost breaking it every time I hit it. And yeah, I've broken many, many points. Okay? So the only thing I can tell you is if it's sliding off the edge with this kind of, semicircle roundishness and you want to use the semicircle, you got to hit harder and put it higher up on the edge. Both. Or one or the other, whichever works. But if you cannot get it to work unless you put a sharp point on it, just use a sharp point. Yeah. Noah, let's see. Noah says, thank you. Let's see. Jesse says, Jay, my indirect slipped too until I rounded it up with the abrader. Okay. Let me see here. Jim Main says, Jay, the indirect is a game changer. It was for me, at least. Yeah, it was for me, too. It's a game changer for sure. Michael, Red-Eyed Patriot says, I just got a copper rod and 2 aluminum from Sal. I've been using a 10-inch steel spike nail. There you go. Steel spikes, and steel does work. You don't need to use copper rods. You can use steel rods. You can get weldable steel rods from Lowe's and Home Depot and your hardware store, as long as your hardware store is not lame. Okay? Steel works also, but it slips more. If you're worried about slipping, don't get steel. If you're having trouble with the slipping, don't get steel. It slips more. Yeah, it's annoying. Steel is annoying, but it doesn't wear down as fast, which is what I liked. and I used steel for over 2 years, right? How long was I using steel for? And I got used to it, but it doesn't compare to copper as far as effectiveness. Steel is pretty difficult to get used to. It does slip more. It work hardens. Like the more you hit and the less you maintain, the harder the tip gets, and it changes the characteristics. So it starts messing up the edges. It starts smashing the edges like crazy, and you're wondering, wait a second, do I have skill regression? What's wrong with my brain? 'Cause the more I nap, the worse I get. No, it's because it work hardens. And the copper does the same thing, but since you got to maintain it so much and remove so much of the metal every time, you don't notice it because you're removing the metal. But with steel, with less maintenance, the metal stays there and it gets harder and harder and harder, and it messes up your work. You know, how do I know? I don't know. Let's see here. Noah says it. I took home some of those nails from a retaining wall I did last week. It definitely can be used for napping. Yep. Anthony Mummert, hey, you could also take out the steel rod that's inside of a piston if you happen to have one laying around. Does a pretty good job for indirect. There you go. Scott Lowers here. Hey, chippers. Scott Lowers from the UK. We have several other internationals in the house, but Scott is one of them. From the UK. They don't celebrate the 4th over there, of course. All of us crazy people over here are all going to be shooting off fireworks. I didn't buy any fireworks this year. Yeah, I don't want to mess with... if I start shooting off fireworks in my yard, I don't want the patrol car to come by and stop and shine a flashlight and what's going on up in there? And then maybe they'll see all my skunks that I've got hanging around and they go, wait a second, we came for the fireworks, but now what's he doing with all these wildlife? I've got a fox that comes around. I've got skunks. I've got possums. What else do I got? Anyway, I want to keep all that kind of low key. And I'm trying not to, I don't want to throw too much food out there either. Now that I'm thinking about it, have I left? I left a little bit out there. It's a little bit of dish for Louise, the cat that comes around. But I have to limit it because the birds will come in mass and eat Louise's food and then poop all over my front porch. You don't need to know all that, though. I don't know how I get into these discussions. It's got to be ADHD. Not discussion, but, blah, blah, blah. I can go off on a tangent so easily. Let's see here. Anthony says, I hate text to speech. Let's see here. What are you guys talking about? What is it? Yeah, Scott's burning the midnight oil. Scott Lauer. Jay says, Patrick, how do I know? I don't know. Translates into years of experience. Yes. Hey, Outcast Metal. Lance is here. What's up, Crafty? Not much, except the live stream. Yeah. Bushy says, Pat, why does a thin steel flaker work better than a copper flaker for notches? Mainly, it works better because it puts a lot more force in a smaller area. Yeah. I don't know how else to explain it, but steel will concentrate force in a small area, and you need that for notching. Copper tends to deform right away. You don't see it. It's on a microscopic level, but I've figured out that copper will bend and deform before it removes a flake, which is good for percussion, but for pressure, it can get a little dicey, especially within very narrow notches. So steel stays stiff and will concentrate the force, in a very small area and pop out those flakes. Yeah, good question. So if you have questions, doesn't matter if you've already asked them before. I'm looking for questions in the chat, mainly. Although I will be nosy and read stuff. Yeah, Michael Red-Eyed Patriot has made an indirect percussion flaker from a piston rod. He says it's perfect. Mike Mason says, fireworks for skunks. Just don't scare me. Yeah, that's the thing, too. If they come around and I shoot fireworks, they're not going to want to come around no more. Why do I like them? I just like watching them. Yeah, they're very interesting animals. I watched one the other day. I got 3 regulars that come around almost every day. Although Jumpy, I saw her like 2 nights ago without the little babies. She's got 6 babies. So she was here without the babies a couple nights ago. But before that, she was gone for like 4 or 5 days. And I didn't see her last night. That's a lot of babies. They call them kits. And there's one skunk that comes around. That one's fairly new with 1 baby in just right next to her constantly and doing the little squeak thing all the time. And then there's another one that comes around with 4. And I don't know those 2 other females, but they're coming around with their babies. So guess what's going to happen next year? Yeah. What am I going to do? They're going to come around wanting some cat food. That's what I throw out there. I was just throwing the leftover food from Louise out in the yard. But now I feel sorry for all these skunks because some of them started really skinny and they're looking good now and their hair is all grown back. There was some that were a bit mangy, like I call her mangy tail. She's got hair now, very healthy looking fur coat now. Yeah, so I got happy about that. Anyways, Jim, super chat. He says, also, I have a ton of knife blades I've finished and a bunch of preforms I'll trade for a whole rock, along with brokes that will still make good points. So Jim Cooper is looking for large pieces. He'll trade you knife blades, preforms, and flakes for large rocks. Okay, you guys? Jim Cooper is looking for large pieces to nap. I've got some that I can get a hold of, but it won't be until October. I'm lining it up. Let's see. Someone's drinking already? Okay, we're talking about a spot. Judd Falls. What is it? I need to find these spots you guys talking about. So Bushy says there's such a place called Judd Falls that has knappable stone, but he did not find much. Mike Tuff says, did you get your second package yet? For me, I lost a receipt with the tracking. Yeah, I got it, and it's in the unboxing video tonight. But just so you know, ready? Look at what I got from Mike Tuff's today. This one is 2 pounds, 12 ounces. So it's almost as heavy as my 3-pound sledge. This one is 1 pound, 4 ounces, right? So that's what, 20 ounce? These are heavy duty, right? I'm going to try these on that big obsidian chunk that I got. It's like a big slab. You'll see. Okay, in case you haven't seen it, I showed the big obsidian piece in a live stream a few weeks back. Okay, it's over 20 inches long. I'm going to try for a long blade, but I've been waiting to see what I get from Mike Tufts, and these are awesome. I'm also going to try aluminum tools on that glass, on that obsidian, the volcanic glass, and see how that works. I'm a little bit nervous about making a blade that long because I really don't enjoy making long blades. I'll do it on occasion, but I don't really like doing it because there's so many flakes involved and so much time involved. It's like it takes me 3 times longer to make a long blade just because I get really, really nervous and I don't enjoy it. I'd rather just break it in half to begin with and work with smaller pieces. Yeah. So, yeah, Mike, I got your stuff. Scott Lauer says, Isla whiskey is yum yum. I never heard of it, but yeah, I believe you. Mike says, cheers, Scott. Me too. I'm only on my first beer. Jim Cooper, $5. Yes, I see that super chat. Let me go back down to the end of the chat. Thank you. Thank you. Wait a second. Who else? Alex Stephenson, 99 cents. Thank you. Thank you. Where are you from, Alex? I don't know if I've seen you before in the chat. Killer Cork says, I'm back. I had to grab some grub. There you go. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, talking about a honey spot. Oh. Bushy says, Jay, I was there in the area. Didn't get much good rock. I think my honey spot is done. Might go to Cobbleskill Creek next time. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Yeah, everyone say hi to Killer Cork. I'm almost going to start napping here. I got 8 minutes left in the hour. Alex Stephenson is from Australia. Okay. Any advice for Australian nappers wanting to source good material and tools? Well, you might want to check to see if you can get obsidian from China. I just talked to a friend of mine from Poland, and he's getting his obsidian from China. And the shipping is not expensive. So you may want to check China for obsidian, Chinese sources. I don't know how reliable they are, and I don't know where you find them, if they're on social media or you just Google them. I'll need to ask Jakob from Poland, see where he gets his. Maybe you can get some from China. That's obsidian. Now, I think agate you can get from Indonesia, which is not that far from you either. But there's a lot of sellers of agate in Indonesia. Okay. Again, I don't know how to find them except on Facebook. And I don't know how many of those are legit and how many of those are scammers. So I never bother looking into the agates from Indonesia because I can't tell who's a scammer and who's legit. So my advice for people in Australia is to source material from Asia. Yeah, because it's way too expensive to get it from the States. Yeah, I remember last time I sent a package to Australia. It's just a small package. It wasn't too much more than shipping to Europe, but it was more. Yeah. Let's see. What are you guys talking about? What are you guys talking about? Oh, okay. Yeah, these copper tools that Mike sent me, these are heavy duty. But if I use this on cherts or anything really, really tough, it bangs these up a lot. I don't know if you noticed, right? You have not been watching the channel? See, I've already banged this one up pretty good on this chert that I've been napping. Okay. 6 minutes. I'm going to start napping at 6 minutes. So get your sandwiches consumed before then. Yeah. Get your drinks. Smoke them if you got them. That kind of thing. Okay. Mike Mason says, I learned about crutch and lever techniques for blade core today. Interesting stuff. Yeah. If you're into blade cores, that's the way to go, I think. Lever action, pressure. Let's see. Okay, Scott says, Ralph, I can't write proper. Whiskey done me with a blunt. It's 2 a.m. I'm in bits. We're learning all the lingo. Let's see. Mike Tuff says, very fortunate to have those, Jim, if you're talking about the unboxing video. Yeah. Alex says, Australia, I'm learning from your videos. It's been very helpful. I'm very glad. So but he's struggling with materials and creating his own tools. Yeah. Welcome to the boat of trying to find good materials or source materials and making your own tools. You are welcome to the boat that we are all, most of us are in. Yeah. Some of us had lots of cash to buy all this stuff, but that's rare. It's not everybody. Let's see. Yep, Mike says, sweet, I got them. Yes, I did. Thank you. I can't thank you enough. Killer Cork, you're 3 sheets to the wind already? Jesse says, Alex, you will soon be replicating those Avo Kimberly serrated points if you watch Crafty. Yeah, just don't say Avo too much around Australians. Yeah, because the lingo's different. Yeah. Say natural tools. Alex says, legend, that's the goal, Jesse. Let's see. Brennan says, howdy, Cork. Jim Main. Patrick, do you prefer a smaller, sharper tip for pressure on smaller, thin points? Yes. Yeah, I just get lazy and I don't sharpen them like I should. I prefer a sharper tip on small points. I just get hung up on this maintenance thing. I just hate doing maintenance, so I let them get dull. But yeah, I prefer a sharper tip. It may not look that way from the videos, but yeah. I do prefer, but I just make do with what I got because I don't like maintaining them. Jim says, Australia has some of the great napping rock, Mookite jasper, Binthalia, opals, pink opal, even some natural lightning glass, from what I understand. Yeah, all that stuff gets amplified on social media, that cool stuff from Australia, like Mookite, jasper, and all that stuff, but it's rare for them. I've talked to Australians and they can't get it. The suppliers sell it into the United States because they can get top dollar, but I guess they don't sell it to their fellow Australians. Mike Mason says, Australian Aboriginals used wood. 3 of the hardest woods on the planet are there. Anyone with some stone to trade the guy might wind up with one hell of a bow stave. Yeah, there you go. And they make some of the bows and stuff out of roots, tree roots, right, in Australia? Or was that at Laddles? I can't remember. Let's see. Yep, getting caught up with the chat here. Jim says, Patrick, October will have another benefit for me. It's my birth month on the 19th. There you go. Killer Cork says, no drink for me today. Mike says, I forgot that was a dirty word for them. Oh, yeah. Got to watch around Australians and some of the internationals. Our lingo in the United States it might mean something else. We got to watch it. Yeah. How do I know? I don't know. Let's see. Those are some serious tools for me. Yeah, I hardly ever use large tools. But got to do it one of these days, or else I can't explain what's going on. Yeah, and I can't talk smack about it yet either until I get more experience. Yeah. I do have something I could drink. Hold on, I'll be right back. It's 9 o'clock. Before I start napping, let me see. I gotta go get something here. Something that I can drink. Yeah, there it is. Go to my fridge. I'm not gonna advertise for these guys, but it's a non-alcoholic beer. Yeah. I drank like over the past 3 days. I can only drink a little bit at a time because of the carbohydrates. For some reason, it makes my head spin. But I like it. Yes, I do. But yeah, alcohol and carbohydrates makes my head spin almost immediately. Yeah. You should do it on live stream because then it would be more funny because right now you're just dull. Sorry. Yeah, I know. How many we got? We got 36 viewers. Okay. 36 people will get to see what the napping is all about. The other guys can eat their hearts out, as they used to say. No one has the lingo that we used to have back in the day. No one says, eat your heart out, man. No one says that anymore. I never see it online or anything. All right, so we're going to start napping. I'm going to not pay attention to the chat, so don't get any hurt feelings. If you do, yeah, put your hurt feelings in there so we know who the crybabies are. But I'm going to be ignoring the chat for a little while. Okay? I'm just going to be napping Texas chert. I found this type of chert on the side of a dirt road. So it has a little bit of weathering. It is cracked, freeze cracked, or weather damaged in some areas on the stone, depending on what was exposed to the weather. If it was buried deep enough, it stays pretty much intact. This particular batch, I think I got from a construction site because they were widening the road. So they piled up a bunch of stuff. Myself and two friends went and collected a bunch of this stuff on a spot where they were widening the road. So they crunched through all the limestone that was on the side of the road, and they ended up digging up a bunch of nodules, and it was just strewn all over the place. Anyways, it was free. Now, free rock, it's dicey. Sometimes you get lucky. Like I've got some good pieces in there that I saved. But a lot of it's like that. See, it's all cracked and banged up on this side. And part of it's machinery damage and part of it is weather damage. Yeah. That's the drawback of finding rocks where machinery has churned them up and brought them to the surface or whatever. Yeah. Okay. I will check the chat from time to time here. Cheers. Yeah. Cheers. Happy 4th. All righty. Let's see. Red Eyed Patriot says, Patrick, I'm going to send you a 6-pack of our local Kentucky drink. All right. Awesome. Let's see. Mike, Patrick will be climbing the walls on Ale. What is that? Ale 8? I don't know what that is. If you start talking in code, I lose. I don't know. I can't follow it. Yeah, smack the like button, or Keith. Where's Keith? Needs to release the hounds. Where has Keith been anyway? He's been in the on YouTube, because I see his comments on YouTube. Let me see. All righty. Yeah, I miss all the good ales and beers. And, yeah, I miss all that stuff. I'm just saying no to carbohydrates. Yeah, just saying no. That's me. Yeah, and I feel a lot better. Oh yeah, a lot better. It helps with depression as well. Your diet, you got to make sure if you have depression, make sure that your diet's not contributing to the depression. It was contributing to my depression big time. Yeah. People would ask me, why are you so angry all the time? Well, first of all, anger is one of the best motivators. So that was one thing. Number two, anger just happens if you're in a weird physical state. You just feel angry. Yeah. So two things. Yeah, coast to coast flake on that one. Not an overshot because it didn't take off anything off the other side. And there's another word for it. The French have a word for this too. The outrepassé or something. I can't. I'll have to look it up how to pronounce it in French. Outrepassé, something like that. I don't know. But anyway, it's just coast to coast without removing the other side. It just a little bit the cortex and the platform. Yeah. And you can do that with higher grade material. Although this varies from concrete to high grade. And I just took off way too much off of this side just before that big flake. Yeah, I wanted to get rid of that nasty stuff, but I took too much. Or maybe there was an existing crack. It might have been an existing crack that helped remove that big old piece. But I didn't want to remove that much. I lost some length. It's too much length. I lost about 10%. Yeah. I'm supposed to lose 10% in total, not in the beginning stages. Yeah. Ooh, there's a big old concrete thing right there. What is that? Nasty? That's what that is. It's nasty. An existing crack. And it looks like an impact fracture almost as well. But it's concrete right in the middle. We'll get rid of it. It does not go all the way through. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Jim Cooper says, that's the kind of flake I meant when I said overshot was a good way to remove the square edge. That was before I confirmed your definition. Yeah. See, Jim Cooper and I were having a discussion about that overshot stuff. Yep. Don't be afraid to have a conversation about something controversial with me. If I say I don't like something, like if I say I don't like large blades, I'll still talk about large blades. If I'll say I hate overshots, I'll still talk about overshots. Okay? You might accuse me of being an ass or whatever, but you know. When have I not been accused of that? I don't know. Used to it. Yeah. All right. So if you have a question, please ask in the comment section here. I'm going to check from time to time, and I'll try to catch up at the end of the live stream. The last 15 minutes of the live stream is when I try to catch up with the comments again. But I'll be ignoring them for the most part right now while I Flintnap. I'll get back to them in a little bit. And I'll check from time to time. Yeah. Because, I don't spend too much time napping because you can just watch that on a regular video. I've got bunches of videos in case you haven't noticed. Some people have been napping for years and been watching YouTube for years. I've been uploading videos for years, and they've never seen any of my videos. I'm not saying that they're great, but where you been? I try to subscribe to as many nappers as I can on YouTube, just so I can see what they're doing. What's up? What are they doing? Rarely do I not know of a napper. I don't subscribe to all of them, right? It's rare that I don't. I don't subscribe to the flake over grind guys. Let me think about that one. Well, I don't look for that type of content, although I have subscribed to the flake over grind guys. There are some that I do, yeah. But I don't look for that type of content. Mostly people that I watch now are part of the crew here that I see on the chat or in the comment sections of my videos. That keeps me focused. That way I can actually enjoy watching instead of being like a chicken with my head cut off, looking around all over the place and getting distracted. I can now focus on a certain group, which I like much better. Let's see. Jim says it's much rarer to be able to interact with the napper to be able to ask questions in real time. Yeah. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah. Good. You guys are talking to each other. That takes the pressure off of me. I can focus on this. Now, if this helps you, I'm glad, but I don't know how. I can't really see if this is clear enough. I've got some cracks in here. I don't know if you can see. There's a crack going all the way around. It starts on this side. It goes all the way around. If I cover my face, you can see. See that crack that goes in? That's an issue. I don't know what's going to happen there. I don't know what in the wide world of Flintnapping is going on right there. Dang it. It was so promising, too. It doesn't look like it goes very deep. That's a good part. So I'm going to try to get it. I'm going to try to remove that. Okay. All right. Is there more than one way to skin a cat when Flintnapping, so to speak? People don't use that expression anymore either. The answer is yeah. There's more than one way to do it. Just because I do it a certain way doesn't mean it's the only way. Yeah. Yeah. I already know that. Just show us the angles because I don't have an angulometer. You don't have an angulometer? You don't have something to show or to calculate the angles for you on a video? Dang. Yeah. Well, your angles are not my angles. That's all I can say. So even if I show you my angles, your angles are going to be different. Even if you try to copy my angles precisely, you might not be able to nap with my angles. Yeah. I know it doesn't make any sense, but that's the way it goes. A lot of things in Flintnapping don't make sense because it's a unusual thing. it involves a lot of risk. It involves a lot of personal variation because slight, subtle, imperceptible differences can make all the difference in how the flakes turn out. Okay? Almost imperceptible slight differences can mean the difference between what you want and what you don't want. And if you think about it too much, many times it'll mess up your napping. You don't want to be thinking about it constantly. And I found out that napping is more like a sport than a handicraft because of the risks involved and the amount of physical practice and muscle memory required. Yeah. I don't know if it's how comparable it is to playing a musical instrument, but I think it's also comparable to that. Although I don't play a musical instrument, so I can't really tell you how comparable it is. But I have a feeling it is comparable. Lots of practice involved to get that subtle difference that makes all the difference. Oh, they're shooting off their fireworks now. The neighbors. Of course, I live right on the river, so across the river is New Hampshire. I'm not sure if the noise is coming from across the river or here in town. Anyway, I've got rid of the majority of that crack. Did you see it or did you miss it? Now all I got to do is deal with the concrete, which means I've got to make sure I don't cause a lot of step fractures in that area because it'll be a real hassle later on. And if I do a lot of step fracturing at this stage, I might have to leave it in the final finished point. So when it comes to concrete, you got to be careful from beginning to end. Yeah. You can't wait. You can't be lazy. A lot of times I just wait until the very end to do all my very persnickety work. But when there's concrete, if I wait too long, it gets too thin and I won't be able to drive thin flakes across it. It'll snap. The thinner the flake is, the weaker it is. Okay. You need thick flakes to attack bad areas. Ooh, that almost overshot. But luckily, see, that's luck. That's part of why it's more like a sport than a handicraft, because that was luck that I did not overshoot it. Okay? That was luck that I did not overshoot the tip. That I did not take off that tip. I wasn't even expecting a flake that long. See how ripply it is at the end? I did not expect any of that at all. I expected it to go to about the middle. But it went zoom right across. And I hit it hard, you know. I hit it hard because there's concrete there. I can't be backing off. I've got to put my foot on the gas, fully on the gas when I'm dealing with concrete. So that one went across. So that concrete, it looks tameable. Yeah, we'll see. I got to be careful because I could install a curve by accident. But trying to dig into that concrete too much. Yeah. Okay. I got to sneak up on it. I don't want to hit it really, really, really hard, but I got to. Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna have to do it. Okay, first strike into that concrete didn't work all that well, but I got to get rid of it because I can't do anything with it sitting there. It's going to interfere with everything. Okay, I feel better with that one. That went across the top. It broke all up. See that? Concrete doesn't flake in the same way as the rest of it. Yeah, I'm going to switch over to indirect percussion. How much time have I got? I got 20 more minutes to nap. Yeah. Okay. So I'll take off some more bigger flakes. Oh, wait. I can flick it. Yeah. It didn't work. Yeah. So what am I going to do? Indirect percussion. That's what I'm going to do. So far, this is what it looks like. Thin. Well, it's this thin. It's not really thin yet, but it's this thin. It's about time to go with indirect percussion because a bopper, with the way that I nap, I use the mass of the workpiece against itself. The way that I nap, I have to strike fast and hard in order to remove these flakes. And the thinner it gets, the lighter it gets, which means the harder I need to hit to use the mass against itself. So when you try to hit harder, you lose accuracy. I can still, if I had the accuracy, I could continue using the bopper until the very end, until I need to sharpen it. But since accuracy suffers when I try to hit really hard, I've got to switch to another technique that is more accurate. And in my view, direct percussion will never be as accurate as indirect percussion. Okay. Now, pressure flaking is more accurate than indirect percussion in most cases, in general. So you can do some amazing things with pressure flaking because of the accuracy. The intermediate is indirect percussion. Now, some guys have extremely good coordination and they can get very accurate strikes with a billet or a bopper or hammerstone or direct percussion. Yeah, you guys are blessed. I wish I could do that, but I can't. But yeah, if you can do it, more power to you, as they used to say, and keep doing it. Yeah. All right. So yeah, to try to get this flake with direct percussion with a bopper, it's very difficult for me because I just don't have the accuracy. I could maybe develop the accuracy over more time, but I've already been napping for 15 years, 16 years. If I haven't gotten the accuracy down yet, then that tells me that I just don't physically have it. Probably. Physically don't have the ability to be that accurate with a bopper or a billet or a hammerstone. But I try. Sometimes I try. But you don't need all that accuracy with a hammerstone or a billet or a bopper if you use indirect percussion. Yeah. There it is. That's why I like it. That's why I developed my style behind the knee stuff. Yeah. I went through a stage where everyone says, that's odd putting it behind your knee. I've never seen that before. You know why you've never seen it before? Because I'm the first one that used it. That's why I had to go through all the, what you're doing with that? It looks kind of odd. Yeah. I don't care. I don't care. It gets me where I want to go. And then guys would say, hey, I can't argue with success. Why you want to argue in the first place? But yeah, you can't argue with success. It's a good motto. There you go. I agree. If I see success, I can't argue with it. Do I see a lot of success without indirect percussion? Oh, yeah. You don't need it. In my view, you can completely live without it. But it's no fun. I don't think it's any fun. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Yeah. Once you have good results with it, you don't want to give it up. No. Nope. I will never give it up. I will try other things, but I will never give up the indirect percussion. Yeah. Let's see, what time is it? It's 9:26 Eastern time. That's a lot of fireworks. So they did have a fireworks display somewhere. You can't hear it because it's a noise canceling microphone. But that sounds like it's in town. Somebody has a display going on. Interesting. I'm just curious. Let me see for a second. Yeah, it's over the hill. I can't see any of it. At my window, I can see the hill, and I know it's coming from that direction, but I can't see any of it. Okay. So, yeah, the next town over is shooting fireworks. Okay, nice. I can't predict the ending of the flake, but that's about as best as I can hope for. Yeah. See how it ended very abruptly? It's almost a perfectly straight line where it ended. That last flake went right across there. And it terminated in almost a straight line. Very unusual. So now that you can see the angles from the front view, is it helping? All my videos now, other than the live streams, are first person, which means you get to see what I'm seeing. And if you want to know my setup, how I set up the camera, too bad. It's proprietary. Yeah. I'm not going to give away all my secrets. All right. All right. You might ask, do you do any kind of napping off camera that's different than on camera napping? The answer is yes. I have done certain techniques that I don't show on camera because I'm still working on them. Yeah, still working on them. What are they? Just variations on regular stuff. It's mostly in the way that I'm developing the preforms. I'm trying different things, especially with these Cody complex points. They're obsessed with symmetry. So I'm finding it very useful to just start with the idea of making everything perfectly symmetrical from the very beginning. It's very tedious, but it seems to be working. With this, I'm very asymmetrical. I don't follow symmetry when it comes to this style of napping, where it's just random and just winging it and making doo-doo with what I got. It's nothing like what I'm doing with the Cody complex points. Yeah, it's totally different. And I'm working on ways to keep me focused on the symmetry. It's not easy. It's very tedious. But I think that once you get into that mindset, it's easier to deal with if that's all you do. Back in the day, those guys making Eden points and Cody complex points, that's the only points they made. So everything was the same old, same old. But for me, there's so many different types. For modern nappers, we tend to want to nap with many different styles because, first of all, the audience says, you're not an expert unless you know many styles and as many different types of Flintnapping as possible. You're not an expert unless you have an experience in everything. That's what most of the viewers are thinking to themselves. And if I want to teach people, yeah, I've got to be versed in different methods because not everyone likes the same method. Now, I don't think you have to be proficient in many different methods to be an expert. As long as you're getting the points that you want with a particular style, you're an expert in that style. Yeah. There you go. You don't need to be well versed in everything. All right, so I'm going to focus on thinning now. This is when it gets dicey. I could easily break this. Some stones are easier to mess up than others. This is not an easy one to mess up, so to speak. It seems to be holding together. The flakes hold together. The concrete was tameable. I managed to flatten it. Yeah. I managed to flatten the concrete, which is good. Now, to thin it down further than that, I don't know. I'm going to thin out the rest of it first. Yeah. Sometimes I can get lucky and then do one big flake over the concrete and just thin it with one big flake instead of having to pick at it. But I don't know. It depends on the circumstances if I can actually set that up to do one big old flake over the top of that concrete to thin it down. I think that's wishful thinking. Yeah, I might have to leave it thick. We'll see. I can't just go gung-ho into it because sometimes that makes you a gung-ho screw-up. Yeah. So you become, on that particular piece, you become too cocky and then, oops. Yep. Okay. So I'm just removing a lot of the delicate edges to do the final thinning. I'm still using the mass of the workpiece against itself, even at this size. This is the size I prefer, though. Yeah. Okay, where is the tape measure? This size I like working with. The flakes don't need to be all that long. It's 3 1/8 inches. To get to the middle, they don't need to be all that long. I still got to hit really hard, but I don't need to make the flakes travel all that far. So it's a little bit easier in general to get the flakes to where I want to go. And they've got to go at least halfway, preferably 75%. 60 to 75% travel across. You know, you have to work in percentages and probabilities instead of exact measurements. Because the hardest part of the flake to control is the ending. You don't know how far it's going to go exactly. The more you control the surface contours, the more smooth it is. In other words, the better the flakes travel. If you control the convexity really well, the flakes will travel. Everything has to be well prepared in order to be well controlled. And you have to do it's the same. You have to learn a lot of control to get it well prepared. So it just it's all intertwined. I just call it persnickety. Yeah. All right. It didn't do it. Supposed to go across, but it stepped. It didn't do it. The flakes are starting to get thin, so that they don't want to travel. Okay. I've got to blast through with a good flake. So I've got different avenues of attack. So let's just see. And if I lose energy, that also causes step fractures. So I've got to make sure this is not all lumpy and pitted. 838, 938. I got, let's see, 45. 7 minutes? I got 7 minutes of napping. Let's see if I can do this. Get rid of the thick spots. Did it do it? I tried to come in from the tip a little bit right there. It did it a little bit. I'm running into an issue in the area that I didn't think would be a problem. So it looked pretty good quality right there, but it didn't do it. It didn't. Just pick it, dude. Get your little pick and pick it out. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I'd rather flake it. I'd rather flake it than pick it. Oh, that almost worked. I'm starting to get an island. I'm going to hit that again, though. Let's see if it'll go. I'm going to hit that again. That flake is still completely intact, so I can hit it again right on the edge. I can hit it again. All right? It's still there. Right where I hit it, it's still there. So I can hit it again. Yeah. I want to make sure it's exactly in the same place as it was before. And hit it again. Sometimes it works. I think it might have worked. Yes. There it goes. Was that luck or skill? Yeah, it was all skill, dude. Skill. That's all skill. Yeah. I wish. That was luck. Well, there was skill for you to put it back on there. No, it was lucky that the flake was still intact and let me do it. That's the first luck. The second luck is I hit it hard enough to blast off the rest of it, where it didn't blast it off on the first strike with the first flake. But after hitting it again, because it was lucky that it was still intact, I got lucky again and blew it away. Yeah. Blew away that lump. All right, so I'm going to continue thinning. But I can say it's skill. Who's going to know? Are you going to know? No, you're not going to know. But I'm not going to do that to you because I'm trying to answer questions. Yeah. I enjoy answering the questions and getting to the solution. Yeah. I like getting to the solution. The end result. If the end result is a solution to it, I'm very happy. Getting there is not something I like. But once I'm there, it's good. Almost. It's almost getting too crackly. I hit from the base upward. It's working. It is thinning down, but I'm worried. Yeah. I'm installing a bit of a curve too. So let me take that curve out by knocking flakes off the side that's bulbous. Let's see if that works. I might not be able to. See, I hate to hit on this side now that's all smooth. I could end up step fracturing it and getting it all messed up. How much time I got? Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Yes, we are clear for launch. We are clear for launch. Okay. Am I still in frame? One, two, three. Okay, so 3 flakes to try to get to the center of that Tootsie Pop. And it's going okay. It's step fractured right there, right in the middle. But I might be able to clear that from the other side. Yeah. Maybe. All right, so I'm just going to spend the next 2 minutes trying to do some final thinning. I don't like it. It's too delicate. I know how hard I need to hit this now, and it's too delicate. So I have to ride that or walk that tightrope. Any deviation that could fall off. Just snap this. Okay. All right, so that helped. It still ran into that step fracture, but it helps to, as far as taking out the curve. Let me put my hand in front of my face. It focuses on when I don't have my face in the frame. All right, so a couple more flakes, and I'll get back to the chat. All right, one big one coming up. Turn One of the advantages of having a straight rod is you can turn it and get a clean spot on the flaker. It's very important. Yes, yes. Okay. Yeah. Thicker. Anyone remember the chunky, what is it called? Is it called chunky chocolate bar? They used to sell a chocolate bar in a big chunk. And on the commercials, I tried to find it. They usually have snippets of old commercials on YouTube. I tried to find it where the guy goes, is that good? Or they asked the little kid or the little guy, is it good? And he goes, is it good when it's that thick? And he goes, yeah, it's thicker. I can't find that commercial. And it's stuck in my head ever since I was a kid. Yeah, thicker. Someone might know. Okay. So I set that next one up. First flake came down. Not the first flake, but that previous flake came down through there. Now, to get rid of the rest of that lump, I hit another flake right there. So now I can feel safe that it's good enough to be sharpened. Okay, so the ratio at this stage, 44 millimeter by 7, 6 to 1. 44 by 7 millimeters, 6 to 1. Length, 3 1/16. I lost about a 1/16 of an inch of length from the last time I measured it. Probably mainly due to a braiding. But I can sharpen it now and make whatever point I want that has this as a preform shape. So I'm happy. Yeah. Where's the last one? I think the last live stream I did this one. No, did this one. So these are all about at the same stage. I feel safe at this, with this type of stage on the live streams. Although I can complete these into a finished point if you want. But a lot of people want to see the initial stages mostly. I get more views on initial stages than I do on the final stages. And I don't know if it's because it's easier for me, so it looks like it's more skillful or something, or if people actually genuinely have harder time with the initial stages. I haven't figured that one out yet. Because for me, the initial stages to get it into a preform, not the thinning, but getting into a preform or a biface that is going to become the preform, that first stage is the easiest for me. The hardest for me is the very final thinning. Okay. So I don't usually do the final thinning on the live streams. I can probably get it thinner. This is the Natural Tools piece. What did I do with Natural Tools? Yeah, I think this is the one I was doing with Natural Tools. It's a little more crude than the others. Okay. Because I hadn't used Natural Tools in a while. All right. What did I miss? I'm back in the chat. Don't go nowhere. I saw some people that left the chat. Let's see where I'm at. Yeah, non-alcoholic. Still good, though. It still brings back memories. Okay. All right. Let's see. All right. What do we got? The live stream ends at 10 p.m. Eastern, which is like in about 10 minutes. Thickera, another Patrickism? No, it's a commercial. Chunky chocolate bars. Let's see if I can find one. Some of the Chunky commercial is on YouTube. Yeah. Is it called Chunky? Let me see. I think it is. Let's see. I know. I said I was going to look at the chat, but I got distracted. Oh, they still do have Chunky. There it is. When you talk about shape, there's only one. Chunky, yes, that's right. Give me a flavor everyone loves. Delicious chocolate. Give me a shape and one that isn't thin. Chunky, what's got a taste? Chocolate got a match. Chunky, if you forget the name, remember the shape. There's only one. Chunky, original chocolate. See, that's the one where one of their commercials, there's a little guy on the commercial, and he goes, "Yeah, thickera." Thickerer. With his accent, he says thickera. Hey, Alan Cole, $5 super chat, sandwich fund, fist pump or whatever they call it. Thank you. So now you know what I'm talking about? Chunky candy bar from 1955. Let's see what this one says.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're standing by to interview the pilot of the first flying saucer ever to land on Earth. And here he comes. I beg your pardon, sir. Do all your people look like you?
Of course not. Most of them are homely.
I see. And what is the purpose of your visit?
To stock up on Chunkies. You're very nosy, aren't you?
Chunkies? You mean that delicious milk chocolate candy bar filled with crunchy cashews, sun-ripened raisins, and Brazil nuts?
And don't forget Chunky's special shape. Extra thick for extra flavor. You're a regular Chunky's information center. You know where I can get some fast?
Oh, sure. I always keep a supply handy when I go out on an interview. Be glad to share them with the illustrious pilot of a flying saucer. Here, let me fit your space helmet.
Pilot? Space helmet? What are you talking about? I'm a fisherman. I always keep my Chunkies in a cookie jar to keep them dry. That's, Chunkies. What a chunk of chocolate.
A chunk of chocolate. Yeah. I can't find the guy that says thickera. I wish I could. All right, where do we go? I mean, what are we doing here? Jim has left the house. Which Jim? Jim Maine. All right, we'll see you. See you. All right. So yeah, looks like you guys have been chatting it up. Let's see here. Sounds like a war zone there at Ralph's house. Ralph remembers Chunky Chocolate. That commercial was from 1955, but that's the one that I hadn't seen that commercial before when I was little. But yeah, that's what the Chunky Chocolate Bar was on TV when I first started having my memories of TV. Thickera. Yeah. Ellen is leaving also? No. Let's see here. Okay, I didn't miss very much. It looks like not toward the end of the chat anyway. Let's go back. I'm going to be nosy and see what you guys were talking about. If there's questions up in there, I'll try to see if I can answer some. Keith must be looking for his marbles. Yeah, I don't know where Keith went. We got 31 people watching. Let's see. Mike Tuff says, Mike Mason, I was in Poland once waiting on a connection flight to the most beautiful women. Okay. I was waiting in Poland once, waiting for a connection flight. The most beautiful women that I have ever seen came off a plane. There were about at least 30 of them. They had to have been models. Very interesting. Let's see. Patrick was talking about a guess the technique game for us to play along. Sounds cool. Yeah, I mentioned in one of my live streams about a year ago that I was going to make some points out of techniques that I don't think you guys have ever seen, and we'll see if someone can guess how I made those points. We'll see how good they are at identifying how points are made. Now, I didn't do it because it's not really fair, but I think I might still do it. Yeah. See, just because someone can't guess how I made it with one of my techniques doesn't mean they're not good at figuring out how they used to be made, just in terms of the possibilities of how they used to be made. I don't think anyone can guess exactly unless they're lucky, but they can come pretty close. Now, to try to guess how it was made by me, I can make it very difficult for anyone to guess. And it's not really that fair, but I might still do it. We'll see. I mean, I can do it and then find out who knows their stuff and who doesn't. Yeah. But, what good is that really to, unless I want to make fun of people, which that's not the purpose of the channel. The purpose of the channel is to find solutions to things and answer questions. Let's see. Yeah, my secrets are under lock and key, says Killer Cork. Let's see here. I'm looking. I'm being nosy, but I'm not going to read all these comments. Scott says he's leaving. Okay, can't go on. Happy day, everybody. Good to see you, Scott. I know you're probably no longer in the chat, but it's good to see you. Fireworks are about to start in these sticks, says Mike Mason. Yep. I'm glad everyone is here. It's good to see everybody. I'm going to sign off here in about 2 minutes. If there's any questions, I'll try to answer. Hey, Marty's here, Buckskin NYB. Patrick, have you ever tried napping any Rainy Butte rock? Yeah, I've got videos on napping Rainy Buttes. Just type in Jack Crafty Rainy Buttes. I think I've got 3 different videos, minimum. I watched a video of Danny Collins napping it today, and I might go try and find some. Yeah, do it. Seriously. Rainy Buttes, when it's good quality, it's very good quality. Very interesting stuff to work with. 3 more hours until Boom Boom for Alan Cole. Oh, you're on the West Coast. That's why. Yeah. Everything already went boom boom here. I don't hear it anymore. Yep. So, okay, I'm going to sign off, guys. Good to see everybody. Hope everyone has a good weekend. The party's just starting on the 4th of July weekend. Happy 4th to everybody. All righty. Okay. We'll see you guys next time. The next live stream is Monday during the auction, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time, or 5 to 7 p.m. Central. Thanks, Alan. He says, keep kicking ass, Pat. I will. Mike says, take care, Patrick. Have a good weekend. Fourth, you too. Thank you. Doesn't Rainy Buttes make your hands red? Says Ralph Snyder. Yeah, it can. Especially if you braid a lot, you're gonna get that Rainy Buttes dust on your hands. It's actually a good paint pigment. You can make paint pigment out of Rainy Buttes dust. It's a petrified mud or a petrified wood. Yeah, it's a very interesting material. Okay, good night, everybody. We'll see you next time. Next live stream is Monday. And I'll try to make a bunch of videos between now and then. As always, I try to cram everything in at the last minute. We'll see what happens. All right? Okay, everybody, good night. Thank you. Bye-bye.